wishing on the cement floor. Just wishing that I had just something you wore. I put it on when I go lonely. Will you take off your dress and send it to me? I miss your kiss and I miss your head, and the letter in your writing doesn't mean you're not dead. Just run outside in the desert heat, make your dress all wet and send it to me. I miss your soup and I miss your bread, and the letter in your writing doesn't mean you're not dead. So spill your breakfast and drink your wine. Just wear that dress when you die, yeah, 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 yeah. Just wishing that I had just something you wore. So bloody your hands on a cactus tree, wipe it on your dress and send it to me. Sitting here pushing on the cement floor, just wishing that I had just something you wore.
GM. Welcome to Noun O'Clock live at the Noun Square. We are watching the end of the auction of Noun 636, the cactus head that we got botted yesterday, but I like it. So we're watching the end of this auction, currently going for 27.3 ETH to 0x FFE2. That is the current bid. Don't forget to retweet the room, get some more people in here. We are supposed to be interviewing TezNouns, but I'm not seeing them in the audience yet. So we'll see when they get here. But yeah, we've got about 4 minutes left on this auction. Cardno, Symbiotech, how are y'all doing?
Doing well, but I was just halfway through biting a vanilla slice. So maybe not as well now. I'm trying to speak good mouth, but you caught me off guard.
Yes, well, you gotta stay on your toes.
Yeah,
you're live on the air.
RFG knows all about being hungry.
Trust me,
Went all day yesterday.
I literally helped on 9 o'clock, and then I had some IRL stuff to deal with, and then I had other shows to host, and then we had the Women's Day thing. I didn't get to eat until like 6 p.m. ish at all.
Not good. Not good at
when
all.
like I forgot to eat dinner the day before, so all I had was like lunch, and then going straight to that. I was in that sort of state where you're like too hungry and you're just very clear-minded and you don't want to be.
Not ideal. I missed the whole 2 hours or whatever it was for International Women's Day. I feel quite bad. I feel like I need a slap or something.
You feel bad. Twitter did something where I started the space the same way it always did, but it started a new space for some reason. So 2 hours didn't get recorded. So if you missed it, I mean, there was when we realized it wasn't being recorded, some people opened up a little bit more. So there was a fair bit of, but I do wish it had been recorded because it was a really great space. Dannett was fantastic. was a fantastic guest. Becco came on, and that was a lot of fun. I see Prof making the crying face at us.
Yeah, I had planned on listening back, but I think it's like there's part of it that's quite nice that, you know, it was a shared experience with the people who were there on the day, even though it wasn't meant to be, like, you know, not recorded. It's the fact that, you know, you've got those memories from like that 2-hour space, and, you know, nobody else
Actually,
has,
it was how long was it? Like, it was almost 3 hours.
Jeez.
By the time we were done. Yeah. Prof said in advance that she was like, well, with what we have planned, it might not be 2 hours. And, you know, any reasonable person would hear that and think, oh, so it might only be like an hour and a half, you know, maybe. So that's okay. We might not fill the whole time. But apparently, that's not what she meant.
No.
and here is the legend herself to defend
her honor.
I totally thought it was going to run at least 3 hours, but that was, you know, I knew that. I wasn't going to tell you all that.
Not going to tell the person who had to host the space who might have had a hard limit at 2 hours.
No, I wasn't going to do that. That would be bad. Yeah, I had a feeling, but it was really great, and I definitely recommend getting Janet back on. You know, either Little Noun Show or Noun O'Clock, depending on timing.
Yeah,
she was amazing, and it was amazing to talk with her about her 3D printed fashion and all of that. So yeah,
it was really good.
Yeah, I know we got like 30
do have
seconds.
30 seconds left on this auction. So if you are not already there, go to nomo.wtf, NOMO.WTF. If we don't get we are going to be going to play FOMO and then NOMO. And if you are on NOMO.WTF, you never have to leave this site. It will transmogrify itself. I'm taking that word from Toady, even though he took it from WoW. It will transmogrify itself into wherever you need to be. So, yep, we're not getting another bid. In 3 seconds, we are going to be playing FOMO. If we don't get botted, which we might be. We've got a Sunset Moose, and
we're good.
I'm not seeing a bot, but we might get one on the next bot because this happened yesterday.
I love the symbol attack.
So we've got, it looks like we're not getting botted. So we are actually playing FOMO this morning. Toady's going to be so sad. Toady Hawk, by the way, was awake until 3 a.m.
That's
with okay, well,
come on.
Why are people settling when we're getting to play for like the second time in a month?
We get to play and everybody is upvoting, even though it's not even okay. Well, whatever.
Everything.
Come on, that wasn't.
You're a glutton for punishment, you lot. You know, you EST folk.
You
moan.
It's not quite as bad as PST,
have to wake
but
up. And now look.
Anyway. We're now on Nomo, so if you weren't playing along with us there, if you didn't make it in time because FOMO didn't last long enough, we do have Nomo still. So NOMO.WTF, you get to pick one of these nouns, one of the two that we missed, or one of the like 30 some odd nouns before then are available. And you're just going to choose your favorite and spam click it for all your might after this 20-second countdown is done. What?
Oh, Disco Chart. Disco Chart's pretty good.
Coffee Rainbow.
I like that coffee cup. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Coffee cup. But then there is a box.
Yeah, there's a lot of nice ones here.
I might have to.
There's that really clean pencil. I really like the business crab.
The tree with the axe. Come on.
And the bank freeze. That's fun too.
And Symbio.
Remember to connect your wallet, by the way. Right. If you haven't yet, you need to connect your wallet or you will not be able to play. We unlike FOMO, we have civil protection here.
That's what I'm going for. This one's for you, Symbio.
I'm keeping boxes.
I'm going for the chopping wood one because you put a tweet out earlier with axe and some wood. So.
Oh, that's really good. I didn't notice the axe.
Yeah, that's like a sweet combo. Come on.
The axe with the tree is.
I'm gonna save the party chart bars too. I'm splitting my attention between too many of them.
Yeah, Disco Chart is pretty good, but I'm keeping Boxy in for now.
Little Al's.
Boxies.
I'm keeping the TNS. I tried to save Al, but I'm keeping the Game Boy. It's my favorite head. I've got to.
Yeah, but I might have to switch over to that axe.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
Fine.
I don't want it to disappear because it is pretty good. But
Oh, we
And
lost.
then I
We
my
lost
book.
2 of the ones that I liked the most.
We've got Tez vending
Yep.
machine on today as a guest as well.
Oh yeah, you know what? We've got Tez.
Oh,
We've got Tez
right,
on today as a guest. So let's go with the vending
but
machine.
he's not turned up yet, so
Well, maybe
Well,
not.
we're gonna talk about him whether
Turns
he's
out
here
right
or
now.
not.
yeah, true.
I do believe he's in PST, so he may still be sleeping.
Yeah, some people like to skip this part because they think we're gonna get bored.
Because we think it's also going to take a long time. And it's not.
It doesn't. It never does because
It is a nice vending machine.
we've been getting botted every single day. So, Nomo. What is Nomo? Does anybody want to answer this? Because normally I answer it, but I'm hosting, so I feel like I should have the day off from.
I'm trying to get our guest in the room.
Oh,
so
fantastic.
he can-
All right. So, Nomo is a game that we developed here at TNS in-house when the last time we were getting botted, because this is not the first time that today, mercifully, I don't know if we got botted today. I think we might have, because I don't know why people would vote for this.
Mhm.
You know, it's
soft
growing on
bot.
me. But anyway, we developed Nomo in-house at TNS the last time we were getting botted for a long time. And the purpose is just so that we still have a game to play after FOMO if we get botted during FOMO. So after we pick our favorite noun that otherwise would have been Nomo, each one of these nouns that you see in Nomo was a noun that came by on FOMO nouns either before we started playing or when we actually get to play while we started playing that we didn't mint. Nomo nouns is a way to save one of them from being Nomo. And when you mint one of these nouns, they stay at 0.0069 for the entire 24 hours. It's an open edition, and 100% of the proceeds go to supporting us here at TNS and making it so that we can continue to do what we do. Trying to get financially independent from NounsDAO as much as we possibly can. And yeah, I love the game. I think it's a lot of fun. When our guests are here during it, they always have a lot of fun. So that's all, or they end up shell shocked. One of the two, usually both. But that's always a good time. On a related note, speaking of things that we do every single day here at TNS, one of the other things that we do every single day is we give away 0.069 ETH every single day to one lucky retweet picker winner. So if you haven't yet, tap the speech bubble in the bottom right-hand corner and retweet the room to be entered into a chance to get 0.069 ETH. Don't have to do anything else. Just retweet the room.
And it's pretty good odds at the minute because if the 8 people who are on the team retweet, then you go 1 in 8 chance, which is really good. So get retweeted.
Yeah, because we've got because we're not allowed to win, but there's all.
Actually, the odds are even better. Yeah. There's even because Josh can't win either. There's a few people who can't win, so there you go.
Yeah. Feelsbadman.jpg. I do wish
we need more people.
Our guest was here. I was looking forward to talking about TezNouns. I'm not sure if you got any news on that, Symbio?
Not as of yet, but like I was saying, he's in Pacific and agreed to a 4 whatever, I guess a 5 a.m. call now. So there is that odd.
Yeah.
The alarm didn't go off.
We're lucky we got 4 quite talkative people up on stage anyway.
Well, there is that.
it helps.
I'm still a little tired.
Still a little tired.
I talked a lot yesterday.
You did. You did talk a lot yesterday. Now, welcome to my world. Wait, but you're a professor. You talk all the time. Never mind.
I know.
Why aren't you used to it?
Yeah, Matt, and I actually volunteered to host the Good News Show today because Rachel's, who is the usual host, is at a conference. So I'm doing that at 11:30. We're keeping that one short though. I'm cutting that in an hour, no matter what.
You were just like, you know what? I haven't hosted enough shows.
Yeah.
Recently.
Well, it was like I'm helping a friend out, but I'm like, oh man, I really wanted to take some time off today. But I guess I'm going to be working a lot.
For those who don't know, Prof, because I don't, which is quite scary. What is the Good News Show?
No, it's not. You. There's no reason you should know that. It's barely new. It's only been around.
That's good news.
Yeah, it's good news. It's only been around since December, and it was started sort of in the wake of FTX and the sky is falling and everything's bad news. so Rachel Wilkins, who is pretty well known in the art space, especially around New York City, wanted to put together something where it's more focused on just good news in the space. And sort of that's kind of how that's evolved. So every day she also does a roundup of various news stories. And that's what we start with chatting about. And then sometimes there's a guest as well. So yesterday they did a whole Women's Day focus as well. And they had actually an amazing, she had an amazing singer on who did this, like, who has just dropped a music NFT project with original songs. And it was pretty cool. I'm trying to find yesterday's recording too. So that's what that is. And it's been really fun. It's developed over time, and I'm looking forward to hosting today and chatting a little bit about. Anytime I'm hosting, I'm always chatting about nouns. So it's kind of become
As
a
you do.
thing. Yeah, as I do.
Yeah. Tuesday is effectively a noun show. Monday is a collaboration with timepieces. Each show seems to be finding its way into, I think Fridays is with Seva Love.
Right. And that's starting, I don't know if that's starting next week. They're going to be, so it's going to be very like meditative, focused and focused on wellness. So, yeah.
Okay,
I do like
see the pin tweet.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is that there isn't necessarily a designated focus. It's just depending on who's hosting the show that day.
It's so it's always like art and tech, AI, that kind of those, focuses, but
right.
That's pretty broad. So yeah, it's kind of evolved where she's starting to get sponsors on certain days, so it's starting to have a focus on those days, but it really just started very broadly. And so one of the things I did a couple Tuesdays ago was have the Hera Shep come on and talk about AI and teaching AI, because we always end up talking about it because it always comes up in the news. So it was great to have him on and talk about what Nouns AI is working on and what they're doing, and also just kind of be able to tap into his vast knowledge around it. And then this week we had Pixel on Tuesday and Three Spaces. So I put Pixel to work twice this week. She's like, I wasn't going to do any spaces anymore. And I'm like, yeah, you are. So Three Spaces is a project where they're bringing art into spaces that are not home or work. It's other spaces like coffee shops, meeting spaces, things like that. So that was really cool to chat with them as well. So that's what that's all about. So the Good News Show every weekday at 11:30 Eastern. Yeah,
fascinating.
One of the nice things she does with it is prepare that thread of news stories. It's like almost a top 5 that goes out before the show is live, and uses the comment bubble as engagement for the audience. She's got a really nice format. She has a mindful minute at the end that's done by a regular. I don't know what really to call people that are on stage. I guess just a speaker.
Contributor. I don't know, speaker. Yeah.
Speaker. Yeah. They're speakers.
It is a nice little format, and it's like a FUDless space. Occasionally it creeps in a little bit, but
FUDless
for the most
space.
part, yeah. I mean, that's the intention, and that's really how it started. Was she was trying to clean up her timeline of the garbage that is, espoused on a lot of the spaces.
It actually grew out of chill time. It grew out of chill time from timepieces every Sunday at 10:30 is this little super secret space in the timepieces Discord. It's not secret and anybody can join it, but most people don't know about it. And it kind of grew up from that because chill time is always a little bit more thought-provoking, thinking about like how can you make the world a better place. So it kind of grew from that. And like the next day after a chill time discussion, the next Monday, she just started it up, and it's kind of just grown from there.
That's
So
awesome.
I can see somebody called TezNouns in the audience, Symbio. Is that a coincidence or is it?
Oh, hey.
Because I know he was under the Tez vending machine account when we spoke before, so I'm not sure if he's got a few accounts and if that's the right one. If so, we could have the other TezNouns up here. We're getting some waves.
So it's jumped off to the point where he's created a Twitter account as TezNouns, but I wasn't aware of the avatar.
And has been
I'm
invited.
seeing it now. Excellent. Come on up if you're on your phone.
We can give the
on
good no more
desktop.
news.
Yeah, you do need to be on a mobile device in order to connect to the stage on Twitter because Twitter just hates desktop users for some reason. I don't know why. It annoys me to no end. So you either have to be on a mobile device, or if you want to really MacGyver it, on an Android emulator on your computer. I did that for a while. It's not fun. It's less than ideal. You know, it's bad when it works less consistently than my phone, which is a Google Pixel 2 XL.
Bloody hell.
Oh, yeah. So that's why I probably should have told you before we started a space
Yeah.
that I was probably going to go 3 hours.
Because
you're going to need
because
a new
I
phone.
because I host these things on a calculator. I host these things on a calculator that's 5 years old.
It's fine.
And
fine.
it's not just 5 years old. It's so ridiculously beat up now. It was in perfect condition for most of the time that I had it. And then it got dropped once and got like 6 different cracks in it because it bounced down the stairs. And they have, and that was like 2 years ago. And they have since like spread across the phone. So now the screen is still perfectly fine, but the edges have like pieces missing where I can see the circuitry. I need a new phone. It's shabby chic. That's what I've got going on.
Claiming on expenses, RFG. You do enough spaces. Claiming on expenses.
I'm not going to claim a new smartphone on expenses for I can see it now. I can see it now. We submit another prop. We submit another prop, and they're like, "You spent how much? You spent like half an ETH on getting one of your hosts a new phone. That is not a response." And I'd agree with them.
You know, that's funny. It's like when you start to agree with the feedback you get or the criticism you get on a prop, and it's like, oh crap, yeah. If I think about it from your perspective, well, that's annoying. From the DAO member perspective. But yeah,
I would. If it was that egregious, it would be one thing if it was like, you know, like small grants being like, hey, you do a lot of stuff. Here's, you know, you should get new tech or something like that. I feel like that would be less egregious than like. The budget was used to get one of the team members a new phone when it was clearly functioning. Like, I'm hosting this. It works.
So it's functioning. So is TezNouns coming up, or
I invited them up, but are you
unable to join? And that's the word
you might
I'm
have to
in.
exit and come back in, and you need to be on your phone. But yeah, Twitter sometimes doesn't work too well, so you might have to leave the space and come back, Tez.
This is the one. It's just true. Yeah, sometimes you have to just leave and come back. Like we have no rhyme or reason.
I did that yesterday during the Women's Day space.
I know, it made me very nervous. But
well, on the clock.
At the end. It was like, if we get rugged, we get rugged.
Well, I think you get a 3-minute window or something to rejoin.
You get a 30-second window.
Oh, 30 seconds.
And I hit reconnect when the timer was at 2.
Wow. No pressure.
Yeah. I saved that space by 2 seconds.
I have pinned up TezNouns vending machine, which was the impetus for TezNouns in the first place. I think that essentially it started out as, well, it still exists as a vending machine on Tez, where people, rather than sending their tokens to a burn address to be done with them, can use the vending machine as a burn address effectively for them to be found and recognized through On the actual vending machine, I believe it's two or three Tez for one NFT and 5 for three. And then they had this wild card option, and I wasn't sure what that was and inquired about it, and it is currently hosting the TezNouns, which is going to be a collection that caps at 3,333. And when it rolled out, it was like really well received. Like I believe you put 100 in it, and they were gone in no time. It may have started out as less than that, but it's effectively been really well embraced, and has begun to do collaborations with artists to do renditions of the CCO and nouns and extensions. So
yeah,
there's
I
some
wanted
error
to
cards in
bring
there
that
too.
up because I'm looking at this. I'm looking at you linked the page.
The
And-
object page, yeah.
Yeah, the object page, and there's so many extensions here. So there's the normal nouns, but there's also lils. I'm seeing a couple of food nouns. I'm seeing some from
Some look like
amigos.
noun punks, but they're a little different. But they kind of look like noun punks too.
Those are new nouns.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, new nouns. By I forget who started that. I think it was Creep Toad and Defnal and MetaDavid, maybe. There was one
Yeah,
other
so-
founder that I can't remember.
I may have to create some floor nouns and put them on Tez. I haven't gone that route yet.
Yeah.
Yes. Put
Yeah,
some
well, you can just
put some
you
of
can be added
the flamingos.
to the mix, because I'm not sure what the full supply is at the moment. But like I said, it's going to be capped. But an interesting mechanic that the vending machine used was to have a takeover from a notable artist, and so the regular vending machine, not the wild card machine, but the regular vending machine had been loaded with a supply of 666, I believe, tokens from UC Zine, who's got work that's similar in style to Xcopy, different color palette, very unique collection, and there was sort of a higher edition count for some of the NFTs, and there was a number of one-of-ones, and it was a kind of a lucky roll for 100 Tez. And at the end of the day, if everything didn't sell through, then the editions became quite a bit smaller and more rare. So that was another thing that I found kind of exciting as a concept, is to go that route of platforming someone or hosting someone who's maybe platforming someone who's not well known, or in the same kind, putting someone on who is well known and allowing people that can't afford into their ecosystem a way in. So kind of a lot of opportunity to develop this as a concept.
It is super interesting, and I really, really, really want a Nomo vending machine.
Yes.
Yeah, it'd be really good.
To that, Tez will just mention TezNouns in the audience that we've Nomo'd you a vending machine. So if you go to nomo.wtf, you can mint an Ethereum vending machine as a primer to potentially seeing that become a reality. Because I do believe that this is sort of a testing ground to do something in the Ethereum space as well for a vending machine supply. It's interesting too, because in terms of the object leaderboard, it's held its position there since it started vending, which I think was less than a week ago. And because of the mechanics of the vending machine, you can't effectively see the primary sales. So it's, I think it's held the fourth spot in terms of overall sales, just based on secondary. So it's
Wow.
it's been doing well, yeah.
Yeah, I'm seeing it at. It looks like it's at
Ooh,
number
hello.
5 right now, but that's
No, I get
still
to have
that's really impressive.
everything I've espoused corrected, but yeah, here we go.
You're
Welcome,
here.
I,
And I have
Welcome.
to jump out, but I'll be listening.
My wife's
have to
asleep,
bounce.
so
All right, thanks for coming, Prof.
See you later, Prof.
hey guys.
Welcome,
Okay.
GM. Welcome to Noun O'Clock. I'm so happy that you got up on stage.
Yeah, thank you.
We
I have
can
to
all
be,
whisper with you.
Yeah, I have to be quiet because if I wake her up, it's the
We can hear
wrap.
you perfectly fine.
Perfect. Yeah, so
So how did I do?
you did pretty good. You're not my new pitch guy, but we can work on it. No, you did great. Yeah, so the Tez vending machine has been cranking along since last July, and we do curated events. Yeah, I mean, I'm a collector, pretty decent collector in this space, and it kind of just grew out of my love of wanting something fun to do and engage with the ecosystem. And then I joined Mintface's project, The Line, and we started talking about nouns, and he said this would be really cool to do with the arts of the line. But I said, well, it's only on Tez. I said, well, let's do a proof of concept with nouns, and we can see how it's received, and then maybe you could do a NounsDAO proposition. So I loaded just like 125 like symbiotics said they were gone in like 5 minutes or something. And I realized that people were DMing me and saying, these are really cool. What's up with this? And I was just answering messages over and over again about what nouns are and what the ecosystem's all about. And it kind of grew organically of its own thing. People started making a Discord, and everyone wanted more nouns. So yeah, it's been really fun. I'm connected to a lot of artists in the test space, so people are now making all these cool derivatives, and yeah, it's been a really interesting week. I will say that.
That's awesome. So I'm as someone who works entirely within nouns, I'm not extremely familiar with Tez. It has a reputation for being like an art-focused ecosystem.
Yeah, it is more so. I've been an investor in NFT since 2018, so I mean, I've flipped a lot of PFPs and bought and sold. And I had I think I bought 50 creatures when they came out, creature world pieces, and I had 20 doodles, and I've bought a lot of PFPs and always invested in NFTs in the space. And when I found Tezos, it was kind of this cool fresh breath air because you could buy things for like 3 cents. The gas transactions were like non-existent, and there's kind of this low barrier to entry, right? So you get artists from all over the world because on ETH, a lot of people can't even afford to mint. So Tezos, I don't know, it's just this very interesting, different art scene, and I went to school to be a curator, so I guess maybe it tapped into some of this different side of my interest in the art world.
That's awesome.
But it is
Who
definitely
else
Yeah,
have you curated?
I love that.
it's a very interesting ecosystem for sure. So I went to school to be a curator, but then I actually took another path, and I ended up being involved in the gem and mineral world, and I was a mineral dealer for 15 years before COVID struck. And because of COVID, I just found myself forced into another career path and went full time into Web3 development.
That is such so to recap, you started as a curator or in
Correct.
school to be a curator, went into gems and minerals, and then COVID happened and you went into development. How did you make that heel turn?
I've always been a tech guy and an investor and involved in crypto. I mean,
Okay.
I bought my first Bitcoin Ethereum in 2013, and yeah, I've always just been in this world, so to speak. But I guess it was born of necessity. My friend was doing a project, and I came on as a community mod, and yeah, I just kind of stayed half engaged in the space while I kept doing my other duties in the Web2 capacity. But yeah, I joined a couple art guilds in Tez, and I had this crazy idea for this vending machine. I thought I always wanted to launch it on ETH, but it just wasn't viable because of the gas fees. So Tezos just proved to be this like really interesting testing ground to do some art experimentation. Like that's what people say about Tezos a lot. I think is that it's this place you can experiment, right? But I do find that people have really embraced the concept of buying art randomly and blind. It kind of like opens your eyes to like this new ways and these new modalities of looking at art, right? Because I think as a collector, we kind of tend to get into these schisms of things that you know, we know what we want, right? So as a collector, you kind of buy what you know, or you kind of stay in a similar vein. The vending machine kind of challenges your perspective, and you end up connecting with new art or new artists in ways that you don't really anticipate. So it's been really interesting as an experiment to see how everyone connects because of it.
That's so cool. Yeah, like I said, I'm looking at this the object page, and I'm seeing so many different extensions. I'm seeing some food nouns, which I love
Yeah.
seeing anywhere in the wild.
Yeah, I tried mixing up
I'm seeing.
everything.
Yeah, this is the closest I've seen to like a nouns collection aggregate in recent memory. So I'm going to keep this bookmark just to show people what nouns art looks like. But how did you reach the decision to branch out like that and to do, you know, because you're talking about a variety of art, so I assume that had something to do with it.
Yeah, so the idea at first was I started reaching out to derivative projects and just saying, hey, this is the thing that I'm doing, and it could be cool. Could I use some of your art, your collection in it? And, you know, like I talked to some little nouns and some other people, and they said, yeah, go ahead, that'd be cool. You know, I don't really know what you're talking about, but show me when it's done and I'll I'll check it out. And then from there, when the collection started taking off, I just started mixing up all the different traits and doing things that I thought were cool. And you know, I've been a digital artist for 2 decades too, and it just got fun. It just started being addictive to kind of mix up the traits and, you know, do the different pieces. And then I started reaching out to all these artists, and now there's these people like Uxine, which Symbiotek mentioned earlier. He's kind of like a glitch X copy artist. Yeah, we did an event with him that I think fortuitously this noun vending machine proof of concept came right after that big event, because that event we sold over 500 pieces in 24 hours, and we did 40,000 tests in volume. So most of us sold in the first 20 minutes, I think, actually, and it kind of trickled out from there past that.
Damn.
So the vending machine, it has a pretty good, solid user base of people that engage with the ecosystem currently, and people who were kind of like already tuned into it because of the Oopsie event, and then they saw the vending machine pop up for the nouns, and I even announced, and I said, this is just proof of concept. These aren't worth anything, so don't buy them. And of course, you know, you say that in crypto, everyone rushes to go buy it, of course. So
yeah, intimately familiar with that problem.
Yeah, not intentional at all.
Do you know offhand what the highest secondary was? Because I got rid of mine all at
70.
Not
70
all of them, but I kept the ones. Wow, yeah.
So far.
And that was was that one?
The animated one, the gift that I made of the dragon that I auctioned. Yeah.
Yeah. So and
it was an auction, but we're gonna start doing auctions with all these. Like Uxine did like 5, and then Simha, who's a really great artist, he did 1.
But this is one of the interesting aspects, is that gifts are included there, where there's maybe one GIF collection of nouns on ETH, I believe, but to see them in and amongst the collections, you know, live like that is another layer that's interesting about this, the ability to put in a token like that.
Animated, yeah.
Yeah, there's lots.
I think. What's the collection you're thinking of, Symbio? Because I'm thinking of nodes.
Oh, that's one. But there's another GIF nouns. I think I collected off it wasn't Noun Center. You know, it's a lot of dead projects or dead forks, but there's still a number of them that are available on secondary and stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, you know, as we all know, it's hard to start a project, and especially a PFP project, and launch it through. So I did notice there was a lot of dead derivatives out there when I was looking through for people to contact. But I think what's cool about this is that it is on Tez, and I don't think there's ever really been a successful cross like PFP project, and Tez art community kind of rejects PFPs a little bit because it is so art centric, but not across the board. It's growing and evolving, and I think this is a really cool way to like bridge the gap between the two worlds. So I'm excited to see where it goes from here.
I would love to see, and this is me just because I love the art on these projects, I would love to see social nouns and nouns in this, because those
DM me and I'll start making some of
the I will. I'll follow you on my personal and DM you those, because they're the art for those, Amioko on Nouns, and I don't know who did the art on Social Nouns. They're both some of my favorite Nouns heads.
Yeah, and I have a couple
This
of
is
really
so
good
cool.
developers I work with. So one of the things that we talked about, that I haven't released any, like, there is no roadmap. It's all just been about art and having fun, and getting these nouns out into the world at this point, kind of, like I said, bridging that gap between worlds in a way, because there's the opportunity. I mean, it's only been 6 days, so it hasn't been a well thought out concept per se. Not that I've had time to somewhat think about it. We're gonna build out a clone of the way the structure is now, where it's like, one noun a day forever, but we're gonna say one noun a day for the time being, and we're gonna do a daily auction from that people can submit, and then we're gonna make a slush fund that we're gonna use for just whatever charitable or artistic kind of things we can do in the space with it. So after the original 3,333 is up, we're gonna let it run through with a auction website that you can bid in Tez and do one a day until either we run out of art or it stops being maintained. But yeah, I think it's a cool way to do kind of just a layer two to it and keep the
forever until you don't
going.
want to anymore.
Yeah, forever, maybe I don't want to do that. But it should be pretty easy. We're going to set up the contract to load.
If you get enough slush together, you can add yourself to Prop House and put that slush to work.
Oh, that would be so cool.
Yeah, no, for sure. And a lot of people have been saying, well, you're going to do a DAO. And I said, my commitments in the space are not DAO adjacent. So.
Right.
That would be really cool.
Yeah, I love that.
I would love that, honestly. So as it evolves, I'm just seeing where the energy takes it and then pursuing it to wherever it goes. So we'll see what happens. But for now, it's been really, it's done. So the volume that you see on TezNouns too is not the actual volume of the project, because the contract that I use for the vending machine is not indexed by TezNouns API. So the actual volume is about 8,000 TezNouns more than that. So I think total we're staying at around 14,000 TezNouns in volume for the last 6 days.
Jesus.
Yep.
So that's like for context on object, that's like double the number one in the last.
Yeah, it's more than like the hand contract, I think, for daily volume.
That's incredible.
Yeah, people have really embraced it. I think it's just fun, and people need more. It's like people want fun things to do in the space, right? Like it's just, I think, especially on TezNouns, it kind of needs that energy injected into it. So that's why the vending machine blew up as popular as it's gotten. And we launched late last July, and we've kind of just iterated as I've been able to put time into it. And I have a really, really cool team of people, like my friend Mark, who is a composer, writes all the jingles for it, and he does all the music that if you play the vending machine, I don't know if any of you guys have tried it. I know you have Symbiotic, but it plays a different song every time you hit a little like musical track. And then
I love that.
Landline is one of the developers. He's the contract developer, and he's a generative art creator. So everyone's an artist on the team too, so it's kind of cool. So we all contribute our time and energy to the project. But yeah, we've done cool curated events. Like we did let's see, for Christmas we opened the machine and let everyone take pieces for free, and we did a Halloween event, and we've done like some curated sets of artists. So yeah, there's a lot of potential to do cool events with it, and that's what I tend to keep pursuing in space. And eventually I would love to launch it on ETH. That was the whole idea of doing kind of the test vending machine for the nouns, but I don't know if it's quite there yet. Just in terms of like the ETH ecosystem and fees, there's a lot of moving between wallets you have to do to make sure there's no spam that gets into the machine if you do it from a donation basis. But from a curated standpoint on ETH, it would be, I think, amazing proof of concept for doing launches, because one of the things about it is that you can whitelist wallets, so there's no bots. And then the other thing is that an artist, you can create your whole collection and preview in advance, and then when you send it to the machine, it randomizes it. So people can actually view a collection in its entirety before it's distributed, which I think is kind of cool. It's a completely different mechanism for how it works now.
That's so cool. Joshua Fisher, I always love hearing your thoughts about everything art related. Did you have any questions or takes on this? Because I'm asking just because I like hearing you talk about this type of thing.
Sure. Yeah, I think it's definitely fun, and it kind of reminds me of like blind box, like vinyl toys.
Oh yeah.
So it's like you don't necessarily know what you're getting, but you like know what's possible. I think that's pretty cool, and I feel like that's like a mechanism that people love.
Definitely.
It's always fun.
And I think having it semi-randomized kind of, or like as random as it is, like you know what the options are, but you don't know which of them you're going to get. I feel like that
Yeah.
makes for a really easy like onboarding point if it ever does show up in ETH. You know, like you said, for launches, it means that you don't have to spend all of that time agonizing over which one you're going to wait for or anything like that. You just hit the button and see what happens.
Yep, it's that easy.
Don't mind me
So
just
what's
buying
the
Tez.
submission process for artists? Was I right in saying it's kind of like a burn address where it populates in there and then you're just cleaning out stuff that that
I
maybe
mean,
doesn't
yeah,
fit the...
it's pretty open-ended. I kind of intentionally left it like open format so I won't have to do too much over moderation over it. But yeah, any artist can submit, and then I manually go through and just make sure there's no spam or if someone hasn't submitted like 1,000 copies. There's actually some pretty advanced mechanics on the back end. Like I learned how to use Python and terminal to write a loading script into it. So when art goes into the donation wallet, then it's separated out between the main machine and the wildcard machine. The wildcard machine is literally just the machine for art that has literally no floor value. So when people hit the button and pay 2 Tez, they're not like, oh, this piece of art is only worth 0.1 Tez. This is a ripoff. So that way the expectations are, lowered to the barrier to entry. But essentially, yeah, there's like a lot of different mechanisms that have to happen on the back end. So some people think like, oh, the art just goes in, it's magic, and it comes back out. But I actually go through and semi-curate, send the art to different places, and make selections of pieces for the day. And every like 2 or 3 days, I'll usually go in and kind of pick out like 100 or 200 pieces and put it in the machine, and then go through and do the process again and clean up the folders and get everything looking good again.
That's awesome. Did you want to just state what the values are for each of the options? Because I couldn't recall off the top of my head in terms of one piece, 3 piece.
One for 2 Tez or 3 for 5 is the general modus operandi. And then when we do special events, we can change the values. But if you haven't tried it and you would like to, I'm happy to either send you a few Tez or help you set up a temple wallet, which is kind of the best variant.
Probably going to want to do that.
Yeah, I would. It's really fun, honestly. Once you start getting into the art on Tezos, you realize there's like a lot of just really good, cheap, accessible art. And a lot of these arts blow up and they end up crossing over to ETH. Like Super Rare went through this whole process where they onboarded hundreds of like really good Tezos artists recently, and their pieces have been selling for like 5 ETH, 10 ETH, 15 ETH for their Genesis, and they all started out on Tezos. So it's been cool to watch people over the last year blow up and kind of make that transition between chains, because at the end of the day, it's not going to matter what chain you're on, right? Like art is art; it's all going to be agnostic. This is just kind of the modality that people are in currently.
Yeah. By the way, for anybody who is like me and didn't know this at the start of the space, when 2 Tez, it's basically 2 USD. So 1 Tez is pretty much equal to 1 USD. So
yeah, it's worth not a lot. When I started buying on Tezos last year,
no, but I like that though.
No, it's amazing, but it really, like I said, like it lowers the barrier to entry. You see a lot of like amazing like Indonesian artists and like designers and like South American artists, because I mean you can literally, I think I minted I've minted 2,500 now. I think it's cost around using the batch minting tool, I think it's cost like $8 to mint 2,500.
That's pretty ridiculous.
Okay, so for context, I did like a small open edition for my birthday, and setting that up cost like $40 in gas.
Yeah, I mean,
And there were like
you
23
don't
of them
even want to
minted.
see my fees. What the fuck is like? You don't even want to see it. It's scary. From collecting on ETH for 3 years, but yeah, I think it was just this real fresh, like breath of fresh air for me. Like, and since I started collecting on Tezos, it's been just over like a year and a couple months now. I think I've bought like something like 7,000 pieces of art.
It's interesting
Good
because like
Lord.
2 weeks ago I put a tweet out saying that I basically bought 100 Tez to spend on object and FX hash, and requested that someone share their work and also share the work of another. I got a very few comments on that and found myself into the vending machine, and was recommended a number of artists to have a look at after doing a pull from the vending machine, which gave me 3 very nice pieces. And I followed all of those threads to their natural end of choosing something from all the collections that resonated with me, which was like 75 or 80% of the recommended individuals. And then that thread blew up as I began, minting these pieces and adding the piece to the comment thread. It became a nice long thread with a great deal of interaction. So I do that every weekend now. I buy 100 Tez and go shopping on object and FX hash. The first round was 34 pieces that I came away with, and I didn't do a count this past weekend, but I'll be shopping for Tez on Saturday morning and doing it again this week. So it's going to be a month
Awesome.
long.
Yeah, that's
endeavor.
how it goes.
Yeah.
So every single friend of mine who I've gotten involved, that's kind of been the path. It's like, wow, this is really there's way better art on here, and it's way more fun than I thought it would be. So it's a good sign.
I'm so excited to have another avenue to spend all the money I don't have. It's
Yeah, be
really,
careful. It's
really,
definitely
really
rabbit hole.
appreciating that. Thanks, Symbio, for getting me into this.
Yeah, and I mint art on the chain too, which has been nice compared to ETH because like the fees involved are just so minuscule. But yeah, I'm actually launching an FX hash project based on geometric design on the 13th. So I think that's my pin tweet. If you go to my primary account, which is Rex Fluxosaurus, you can see the details for that if you guys want to check out the geometric. I do geometric art based on suprematism and non-objective forms. So kind of a cool FX hash project if you guys want to go check that out.
I understood some of those words.
Make good shapes look good.
Thank you. I love when I say that and people like ELI 5. That's make good shape look good. Excellent. Fantastic. That's
Triangles, circulars, and polygons. Oh my. Yeah.
Wiki simple it for us.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I'm going to jump off, but thank you for
thank you so much for
appreciate
coming.
I guess
Love
I'll be
hearing
back
about this.
again next week because it looks like I'm
Yeah,
been
cool.
scheduled for another 5 a.m. sesh.
Are you going back to sleep or is that
Wait,
you up now?
No, I'm going to make coffee. Actually, I'm going to
Nice.
keep working on art. I'm going to keep working on TezNouns because I was making a set for this group called I started doing sets of them for guilds. So I'm in an AI art guild called MAFE, which is run by this guy named CloudVamp, and you guys might know Claire Silver is part of it. Kind of
Oh, hell yeah.
a lot recently. So
I know Claire.
That's nice.
yeah, cool AI art guild. But I made pieces that had like the MAFE logo on the shirts of the NounsDAOs, and they were like, "Oh my god, they're so cool!" And I bought them up, and then this other group said, "Oh, well, you have to put our logo on them now." And that's that's not fair. How come they got theirs on it? So I do a set for them. And
I'm gonna
it's actually really
before
cool
you
for them, so.
before you drop off, I want to while you're still here, I'm going to do one little bit of housekeeping. We give away a POAP every single day here in the Noun Square. So for anybody who doesn't already have it, the POAP app is POAP stands for Proof of Attendance Protocol. If you don't already have the application, you can go to poap.xyz to download it. And Once you have the application, you're just going to hit the Mint button in the bottom right-hand corner. Then you're going to tap Secret Word. And today's secret word is... That was really quiet. Let me give me a second. Let's do that one more time. That's better. Nomo vending. Nomo vending. NOMO-VENDING. Nomo vending. All lowercase, all one word. Nomo vending.
You're speaking that into existence, aren't you?
Uh-huh. That's exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah, make sure you DM me because I'll slip some traits into the last 500 pieces before it mints out. It'll be fun.
The cool thing
Let's
about
go.
Nomo is that the only difference between Nomo and regular nouns is the background colors.
Oh, easy. Perfect,
Yeah,
then.
the Nomo... I did the spiel earlier, but basically Nomo is a game that we developed in-house here at TNS. If you come back earlier in the space, then we'll play it together. It's great. And yeah, we save nouns that were not minted when we played FOMO. So when sometimes we see nouns that we really wish we minted during FOMO and don't reach consensus in time, or sometimes like today, or like yesterday, or as we have been for weeks, which is why it's still at this time, we get botted and we don't get to play FOMO at all. So Nomo saves like 30 some odd nouns from before we start playing FOMO, or if we actually get to play, it saves every noun while we were playing FOMO, and we get to pick one of them to actually save. And we do this with a game where we basically Sybil attack the noun that we want the most by spam clicking it. And it narrows them down, cuts half of them every 10 seconds or so until we're left with just one. And it's an open edition for 24 hours until we play it again.
That sounds like fun.
It's a really good time, and 100% of the pros, it costs like 0.0069 ETH, like 10 USD. And it goes to support us here at TNS and makes us, more financially independent from NounsDAO. So it's a really fun game.
Much. Really appreciate
Yeah, have a good one, man.
This morning, and I'll see
Enjoy
you
your
guys next
coffee.
week.
Yeah,
enjoy your coffee. Get some rest if you can. Thank you so much for joining us.
Enjoy building nouns.
I'll send you those collections that I like. I've got a few that I think you'll enjoy.
Yeah, I have like zero. Well, I say zero. I only have like 4 pieces of like TezNouns art, which was like airdrop or transferred to me by like a big collector as like a present once. But apart from that, it's good to hear about like what that community's doing over there. And I didn't realize like just how cheap things were and how cheap it was to like mint and do stuff. So it's definitely worth exploring.
Yeah, I will go broke. I'm going to lose all my money.
I try not to go down the rabbit hole too much with new things because I get like too excited. I'm like used to be like a bit of like not a collector, but when you really get into something, you like immerse yourself in it.
Degen.
Like,
the word you're looking for is Degen.
Yeah, the Web 2 version of Degen. Yeah, but yeah, I sort of go down the rabbit hole, and then when I come back out, I'm like, why have I got all this stuff? And then get rid of it all, and then do it again.
Yeah, see, that's my problem. I'm just a digital hoarder. I just get a bunch of stuff. Like I've always been like this. I mean, I've been playing League of Legends for like 13 years, and I've given Riot Games at least $2,000. So this ecosystem just exacerbated an existing problem. Yeah, Josh, you raised your hand for a split second. Did you have something you wanted to bring up, or were you just stretching?
Might be a digital high five as well. That might be like a new way.
No, I do have something. I've been working on this thread for the Wizards hat, the Wizards meme contest winner. But I'm having a problem finding the last winner for some reason in the thread because the way that we do this. But I can start with the winner of this contest.
Yes.
Oh.
Wait, hang on. I got a drum roll for you.
It's happening.
And the winner is the amazing Duckhead.
Ah, of course. Brilliant.
Awesome.
And Duckhead created a really cool piece of art for this contest. That he went ahead and made a resin figure, which we love. And Duckhead has been showing up, making amazing pieces. And I'm going to post the rest of the winners to a thread here any second. We have resident TNS contributor to contest, Puni Arts, is always coming through with hot stuff.
That's not the button. That's what I
want. They did this is fine with Harry.
Oh yeah, that meme, that was fantastic.
And then we had Evil created the fix the spell, make things worse Drake style meme. And then we had Summer Arts created one that says the wizard's like, your account was hacked, and the Harriet's like, my MetaMask, and he's like, no, your bank account. It's just phew.
Yeah, that was a great one. That was really good.
That one was deeply relatable.
Yeah. So I'm still working on getting the other two. There's one that's like a Grand Theft Auto, but I just can't find it in the thread. So I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna post these, and we'll be announcing the winners to the WASI contest tomorrow.
That's awesome. I love that we get to do this.
And Humankind by Nouns is wrapped last night at 10 Eastern, I believe. So
yeah,
that's
so
the call.
Oh shit! I need to vote on that.
Vote. Yeah,
no,
that's
really good contestants in that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to set aside time for that one, because just from the few that I've already seen, that one's gonna be hard. That one's gonna be like I'm gonna need to write down choices and order them on note cards for that.
Seriously.
Voting on contests is dead serious. Voting on contests is probably one of the hardest parts of this job, and I know how ridiculous that sounds. Because it's like, wow, the rest of your job must be really easy. No, a lot of it is more effort, but that is the hardest mentally,
right?
Because it's just we don't have unlimited votes, so we can't just vote yes for all of them, or that's what I'd be doing.
we can do weighted votes. Calabara has really improved that whole process for us. So for fixed image right now, the ability to do weighted voting and to change your mind and go back if you've found something further down the line that really resonates. And also you don't have to go back and count how many emoji votes that you gave when you're trying to do a top 5. So
yeah,
it's fantastic.
Yeah, no, it's definitely better to use the creator contest, but it doesn't take GIFs until we get the new uplink version 2. It doesn't take GIFs and videos. But I also just realized I made a mistake. The true winner was actually Pumi Arts. Pumi Arts had one more vote than Duckhead. So Pumi was the
Let's go.
But Duckhead, we love you.
Wow.
Sorry.
Duckhead has no problem entering. Like Tony was saying yesterday, pulled off
5 hours. 5 hours.
I think I'm doing a terrible job of this because I think I'm wrong again, and it is Duckhead. This is bad.
And the true winner is.
This show is too early for me.
Yeah, aren't you West Coast?
I think
I'm on the East Coast right now, but I was on the West Coast.
Unitoad's traits on those TezNouns, by the way. I know he's gone, but I'll make that recommendation. Because you can get Unitoad.
Oh, yeah, that'd be sick.
I picked mine up last night, actually. I got a couple.
Yeah.
When reveal?
I got one. When reveal on the Unitoads?
Yeah.
That's
the question.
I think.
I had a bunch of Weath, and I had to unwrap it to get mine. I had a bunch of offers out on small ask burn tokens for the mesh up final burn.
But nobody bit
this weekend. Nobody bit, so I brought it, unwrapped it, and went and grabbed my Unitoads. Yes.
Nice. Speaking of toads, actually, I see Woody's in the audience. I just want to give him his flowers because he like does a show for Little Toads DAO on like a Tuesday at 8 p.m. EST, and I like always miss it because for my time it's like 1-2 in the morning. But like luckily he puts it on Spotify, and I pin the link to the profile to the top of the Spaces here because I've been listening back on Spotify, you know, like later on in the day, or like listen to the last episode this morning, and they're so much fun and like really well done. So I just want to sort of give him his flowers for them. I recommend anybody who's interested in Little Toads, any ecosystem, or just CC0 in general, just checks that out because it's a really great show.
We should do that for TNS. I have the infrastructure set up. I can just do it like today.
Yeah, they're like really well done. I know it's like you have the Spaces. It's not as easy as sticking a Spaces show on like Spotify, as you all know. You know what I mean? It's just a little bit of cutting at the beginning. It's just really well done, really good conversation, really good guests, and you know, it's something that I listen to it like the next day. It's just great.
That's awesome.
Missed this week's episode, but I did listen back as well yesterday on Spotify, and it's a great show, and he always gives away at least one token. I'm a winner of I think the inaugural show, or maybe the show after that, of a GI Toads. It's a beautiful piece.
Yeah, one day I'm gonna like stay up, like pull it all night. It's quite hard when you got like a young child, but one day I'm gonna stay up and like come on, definitely, because it's a vibe.
Do it when 9 o'clock moves.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna follow it around. So yeah, if it ever does, we had the chance today to move it forward. It didn't.
We moved it a little bit,
like 45 seconds or something.
I honestly believe we have to supplicate to the bot, like verbally supplicate to the bot. And,
it just wants us to give up hope.
Yes, that's the only other time we've been able to go. And then I felt like they're trying to ruin the humankind space by allowing us to FOMO. It's like when you tell the guests that, oh yeah, this thing lasts about 15 minutes, don't worry about it. And then you have an actual session of FOMO, and it's like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, they're just 100%. They're like, I'm leaving now. Pablo did actually leave for a second, but for another reason. We were like, okay, yeah, we get it.
Well, we deserve that.
It's full on, yeah. It's full on.
Updates there, Joshua.
What's that?
Do we have a final tally? So Pumi is the genuine winner?
Pumi is not the genuine winner. Duckhead is the genuine winner.
Okay. Well, it's not
Pumi
so bad.
So the first announcement that we made was the right one.
That's correct. And I just can't find this last winner to create the thread. I've literally been looking for an hour.
Oh my god!
I don't know what happened.
I'll find it. It's in contest. The actual one you're looking for was we take the just for the people who are curious how this all works. In order to try not to be biased with the voting, we download the art and then upload it into Discord for when we can't use creator contests. And so then I have to go back through the thread and find the winners. And so for some reason, this one is just not showing up. It's a Grand Theft Auto themed image.
Oh, I really like that one.
It was one of the winners. I just can't find it. So if I can't find it, I'll just post it later and ask somebody if this is you, put your hand up, and we'll find it from there.
Yeah. The
one with the
GTA
noun stories in old English, like
that's
Valley
right.
Rocker kind of. Okay, I'll go looking. I'm pretty good at finding stuff on Twitter.
Oh yeah, in the copper plate style old English calligraphy.
Yeah. Sweet. Shall we give away?
I dig it.
Some ETH and
I think we should. So if you haven't retweeted the room yet, you've got about 30 seconds to retweet the room and enter into this Twitter picker to win.
Make sure you add Mike Good into the filter so he can't be selected because he's on a winning streak at the minute, which I'm not too happy about.
Of course. We can't let Mike have good things. He needs pain in order to create better music. Love you, Mike.
That does remind me. He won like the Little Noun Show Twitter picker on Monday, and I haven't paid him, so best guy. Couldn't do that.
Not before you won first.
Yeah, that's a regular thing as well. And everybody
honestly gets announced from the team.
Everybody loves telling me as well.
Every time.
They're like, "Oh well, we've got a winner. Yeah, it's Cardinal. Yeah, you can't win. So next, like, cheers."
Jesus. All right. Well, I'm going to pick this right now. And this is a name I don't recognize, but the PFP was in the space earlier. Are they still here? I'm not seeing them. You do need to be in the space in order to win.
You do? It's kind of one of the rules.
It is one of the rules. You do have to still be here. Okay. Well,
unfortunate.
If NFT Maniac is here, the display name is Dwayne with Noggles. NFT Maniac ETH is here. Request to speak or something so that I can see you, because you are. I'm not seeing you. You've got about 5 seconds before I redraw.
Bad times.
Don't make that
feels bad. Yeah, you do have to be here when we do the drawing in order to win. You have to still be in the space. So looks like I might have to redraw. That's unfortunate. Because if you're not here, you can't win. Feels bad. Feels bad, man.jpg. So let's redraw. Oh, okay. This one's here. And the winner of today's 0.069 ETH is Fisher, Crypto Fisher 420, a regular in the audience here, and is here right now. Was reacting with the frowny face with Dwayne, who didn't get it. So we like empathy.
Yeah, we like the Fisher as well. They're like a big collector, like the Poe apps, always shows up. So it's great to see that.
Yeah. I think they've won this before too, the Twitter picker before, at least once. But always happy to see regulars.
You show up, you support us, you tune in, you can have a chance to win.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I just realized I forgot to do a Nomo drawing earlier. Because we actually have multiple drawings. One of the other things that we do is Nomo draws. So if you minted the Nomo recently, then you have the ability to win one of the Nounish NFTs from the Nomo wallet. And I'm going to do that drawing right now. Do we know what we've got available in the Nomo wallet right now?
No, I got sort of lost with the amount of things we get, but maybe Josh or Symbio knows a bit more than me.
If we have a copy of the Wizard hat, that's what we should give away on the winning day for the contest of the Wizard hat.
I agree.
And if not, then Welcome to Nounstown would be a nice one. Atrium's really kind of tearing up the space with how quickly they're iterating and producing what they have.
Yeah, I think they've just entered. I think they just entered into one of the prop house rounds as well. I know they've got a prop up again now after the last successful, but I'm sure they're entering a short into the shorts as well. I'm sure I seen a tweet about that earlier. I was like, good on them.
Yeah. Well, if you minted any of their the 3D characters from Welcome to Nountown, you've been airdropped a fox that's wired up and you can interact with. So if you look in your wallet, you might have a fox there that's not a static piece. Yeah.
So what's the pigeon alpha then, Sim?
I got rugged for a second. What did I miss?
We're
pigeon
talking
alpha
about airdrop from Atrium for anyone that minted the fox character.
Oh.
The pigeon is an NPC, so a non-pigeon character. So basically, yeah, the equivalent of an NPC in their world. So it's not an actual noun. I believe it's wearing little nouns glasses.
Yeah, which is
from
pretty
what I
pretty
recall
dope.
from the conversation. And beyond that, I'm stretching, so I'll just leave it there.
Yeah, I know.
right.
I've done one or two spaces recently after they come on. The 3D print guy come on 9 o'clock, and they were still speaking on this pigeon alpha, but I just don't think it's been dropped yet. There's something going on.
All right, I have a Nomo winner, and I'm really happy about this one because I randomly. So the way the Nomo draw works is if you mint the noun, then the next day, if you mint the Nomo noun, then the next day we will randomly select from one of the minted Nomo nouns, and we will see who got it. And today, I'm really happy with this winner for the skull noun that we got on Nomo, and the winner is Pablo Stanley.
Ah, nice.
Oh,
There you
that's
go.
I
awesome.
love it when the guest wins. That makes me so
Mhm.
happy.
Yeah, me too.
He's a great
They're
guest as well.
participating
It's like
in the show. Yeah,
yeah, it was
want
really
to have
good.
them back as Bueno. So maybe staffers along with them at some point, maybe a little further down the line. But Unitodes was minted on Bueno, and they used it to build the collection. So it's really, I got early entree into Bueno's builder there, and it's a fantastic product. So, and they've just continued to iterate very quickly in terms of what people were finding they needed. So they make an interesting guest for sure.
I would love that. Yeah, there's. I wish we could move this space more. There's so many cool people that I want to bring on here, mostly because I want interviews with them. Like, I just want to hear them talk about stuff. And also, which I assume other people do too. And like, it's great if our audience gets to hear these incredible interviews with these wonderful people. But also, I just want to talk to them.
We could always go rogue and just do a show, find a slot that's open in the week, and collectively.
I'm trying to get
folks.
I'm trying to get Pablo and Art Matter on a Nouns Museum show. I want to get to. I just want to put them in a room together and see what happens. That's. I'm not even like
yeah.
Tortita and I aren't even going to host. We're just going to be like, "You ready?"
Yeah.
Like,
ready.
Round one, fight. And just see what they make. Just the guy who draws robots to the robots who draw guys. Let's get them together and see what comes out of it. I connected them on Twitter, and they're excited. So
that's great. Well, I really think that because they were looking for a place to do external installations or murals in New York for NFT NYC, the Humankind was. And I'm pretty sure that didn't Art Matter say they have some wall space?
They did. They said they had some wall space.
Yeah. So I'd love to see that activation happen.
I am trying to find an oyster song to play us out with, by the way.
And not a clam. I did just
jump
back up. I did just jump back up to share the link to the Good News space that's coming up at 11:30, and also the thread that just got published, because it does have some interesting news that's going on, including Coinbase announcing Wallet as a Service, but really the Flamingo DAO Little Miami virtual gallery. If you have not looked at it, you need to go look at it. Pretty amazing.
I'm in Flamingo DAO and a terribly inactive member.
Not our flamingos, not Nounish flamingos.
Not Nounish
DAO,
flamingo, different Flamingo DAO.
No,
okay,
you are not in Flamingo DAO.
Not that. Okay, I always thought you were talking about ours. So tell me about this one.
I'm talking about Flamingo DAO, which is the art investment fund.
Oh,
that's like Alexis Ohanian, Kevin Rose, people like that are in Flamingo DAO.
I know. I remember the one you're talking about now.
Yeah,
I mentally associate flamingos with you.
A virtual. I know. I get it. Just Nounish ones. So their little Miami virtual gallery on CryptoVoxels launched, and it is like phenomenal. And it does have their flamingo nouns, their actual nouns, like 389 are in there, but also has incredible art, like tons of fidenzas and ringers and all, like every major NFT art piece that you can think of is in there. And it's really incredible. Go check it out.
Is there a Ben Murphy in there? Did they buy that piece?
I don't know. I don't
They should have it.
remember. Now I'm not sure. I didn't see it, but they should, because he has an incredible flamingo photograph. That's unreal. It's so good.
Well, we're running long, so we can let everyone go here. With I'd recommend looking at Ween's The Mollusk album and just choosing anything from that.
I love hearing y'all talk about these things because you two are plugged into time and hear so much more than I do. All right, so just to close out, we do have a schedule that we have to keep to on today in the Noun Square. So, and a lot of us here have a Nounsel call to get to in about 45 minutes, and I want to eat something. So, all we've got today, go hang out with Prof at 11:30 on Good News. That is not on the Noun Square, but we might make an appearance. You never know. I might join from this account. We'll see. At 2 p.m. is the next show we have here on the clock at the Noun Square. We've got Little Prop House, all about everything that is going on at Little Prop House. It's a prop house space about Little Prop House. It's a good time just talking about all the stuff going on there. At 4 p.m. EST, 2 hours after that, we've got House of Nouns Prop Talk. This is about nouns props. Super excited to hear what they've got to say. The interviews that they have there are always fantastic. And there's been some interesting props coming up recently. I'm sure that they'll talk about the recent Rage Quit prop, which is going to be fun. At 5:30 p.m. EST, Prof is laughing at the way I said fun. Why else? Why ever would you laugh at that, Prof? It's not like I was being incredibly sarcastic. At 5:30 p.m. EST, we've got Brand Buzz with Nikki and Justin. Non-Fungible Nikki handles the TNS TikTok account and is doing an incredible job with that. And this is a space that talks about branding and all of the things that are going on with like marketing in the space. And it's super valuable information. If you haven't gone to that soapbox before, it's relatively new. There's only been one episode so far. We're doing it again today. That's in about 8 hours. And seriously, come hang out. I'm starting that one. It's going to be a great time. Then at 9 p.m. EST, we've got a combination space, the NARS Jam Session and the Daily Drop mashed into one space, hosted by Ben Body usually. Gami usually shows up. Davin's going to be there. And they do the Daily Drop that they do every single day, usually at 9:30, but on Thursdays it's at 9 with That's Gnarly, with the NARS Jam Session, rather, talking about everything that is going on in the NARS ecosystem, everything extreme sports. And NARS is doing so much cool stuff. And I think at the moment, That's Gnarly has the first image, like still image. They've been doing videos for the entire time, but I think right now they've got the first still image and really showing the variability of and the flexibility of the That's Gnarly platform. So that's in 12 hours from now at 9 a.m. or 9 p.m. rather, EST. You can tell how my brain isn't functioning. So that's all we've got today on TNS. Anybody else have any closing thoughts before I play us out?
No, thanks for another great show.
All right, fantastic. I'm playing the old standard for when we have an oyster head, because I mean, you got it, right?
It's just more cowbell.
It is.
You never have too much cowbell.
Thank you all for joining us.
Bye, everybody.
Had a wonderful time. Shout out to TezNouns, who I realize isn't here anymore, but for being a great guest. Sorry, you were having so many technical difficulties. We will see you at 2 p.m. EST, 7 p.m. UTC. Figure out your time zone from there for Lil Prop House.